There's William Martin, an Aston Villa fan. English fans do mock the Germans, the Scots, the French leagues for one-sided dominance. But is England not beginning to look a bit like that at the moment? City, 6 and 7, another Premiership title if they do it. I mean, yeah, is there not a point there? You know the situation in Scotland. It was Celtic's league time after time. And many people down here used to say to me, is there nobody else? Rangers ever going to win it? Well, they won it once under Gerrard, and now it looks like Celtic again. Certainly, Leverkusen have ended Bayern's dominance for the time being. Yeah. But we've got a situation here whereby City continue to dominate. Have we not?
If they win, that'll be 4 successive championships.
Yeah.
It's be fantastic.
Could be back-to-back trebles.
Any particular league could be as well too. They've been a terrific side, there's no question about that. And but I think because we've been talking right up until yesterday about how close this title race is, how brilliant it's been this particular season. So, yeah, if they go on to win again, I think those sort of inferences will be drawn.
Yeah, they're bound to be. Would they be fair inferences, Simon?
I'm not sure people mock other leagues. They just state facts. The fact is that up until recently, Bayern Munich had won 10 titles in a row. So that's a fact. And you look at the SPFL, it's a 2-team league. So you're making observations.
No, but I've heard you say Ligue 1 in France not the strongest in the world because of PSG's dominance.
Well, that's right. But ultimately, if you look at the backstory of the Premier League, you've got, like I said on Friday, so we've got 3 teams trying to win the Premier League up until the last 6 games of the season. Right? The German league's finished right now. Most of the time, Spanish league's finished pretty early as well. So we've got teams in the last 3 seasons that have been competing to win the league, all the way up until the real business end, last 10% of the season. You've got 5 or 6 sides trying to get into Champions League spots. You've got 8 or 9 sides trying to avoid relegation. You find me a more competitive league. You find me a league that's got more jeopardy attached to 90% of the fixtures, from the first whistle to the last whistle of the 500th game or whatever it is of the season.
But do we not judge it on outcomes? And if the outcome is 6 and 7... then it's a one-horse league, is it not? It's a league whereby one club dominates.
At this moment in time,
that club's City.
That argument is a decent argument if you want to make it. If the perception is you start from a position that English people or the fans of English Premier League are ridiculing other leagues. I don't think they're doing that. I think they're stating the facts. And now they have a similar conundrum.
You ever swipe at the Scottish League now and again?
Because I think generally it's poor.
There you go. There's
but
another
that's
one.
not. But it is. Whether you like it or you don't, it's not because I'm swiping at Scottish leagues. I'm just stating
Ligue 1 is underwhelming.
Well, it is.
There you go.
Well,
this proves the point.
So with the exception of Lille, in recent times, who's won the Ligue 1 in the last 10 years? Who dominates it?
This is it, man. It's a familiar story. You get where I'm going with this?
I do get where you're going with it. I do. I mean, the Premier League is very, very strong because there's a lot of money attached to it. You know, if you put the same money into the SPL, for instance, Dundee might actually be able to get their pitch sorted out. And at some stage or another, if you did this, and you're talking about leagues. I mean, Barcelona and Real Madrid share the league in Spain. There wouldn't be that many teams in Italy outside Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan as well too. So you're having this domination because the league is, as Simon mentions, not as strong underneath. You've got the top sides and the other sides. You can lose games in these leagues. Juventus could go away to Lecco and get beaten in a game, but at the end of it all, it's eventually those teams will be there at the end.
Sure, but after the post-match interviews, the likes of Klopp and Arteta, there's almost dejection that we're looking like another inevitable outcome, and the inevitable outcome is City. Are we not, Simon? I mean, believe me. Hang on, before you...
Dejection amongst who? Liverpool and Arsenal fans, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think really the league in general. Let's ask Marwan, who's a big Liverpool fan. Marwan, good morning. Thanks for coming on. Are you guys out of it then after the Palace result?
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Martin. Brilliant show as usual. I think pretty much it's for City, but you never know. Still, I think if they lose against Real Madrid, they might have a step back and maybe they withdraw the next game in the league. But for now, I think Liverpool fans around the world, and myself one of them, we should be proud of this team. I mean, no one predicted after catastrophic last season to be competing till the end of the season and the league. So we just need to galvanize around the team, all the supporters around the world. I think we need a new manager. Obviously, we're going to have a new manager. I'd like to have someone like Inzaghi, the Italian manager. I think we need something more pragmatic. We love the football. I've been to Anfield a few times this season. It's a brilliant football, but I think we need more pragmatic manager that a little bit slow down the football, because you can't play 60 games in that high intensity. It's really, really hard for every player, and that's why we get more injured. So next season, hopefully with new manager, I think we have a revolution in the team as well. Maybe we need a new striker, get Nunes in the right side, probably Diaz. As much as I love him, maybe his dad, he said he wants to leave, go to Spain. That's ultimately the outcome of most of the South American players in the Premier League. They want to go to Spain. So maybe we'll get a new striker and move a little bit tactically, and hopefully next season we'll go for it again.
Okay, Marwan, I like that. Quite a note of optimism from you, and why not? David's a Man City fan. David, is it your title again?
Well, I think it was on us a few weeks ago when England played, and Declan Rice said to John Stones, "We've got a big game at the weekend," and John Stones, maybe said it a bit tongue-in-cheek, said, "Why are you playing?" And we've got used. And Stones went, "All right, yes, I suppose it is a big game then." So I think that says a lot about the mentality. But if you remember a few years ago with City, when we got dumped out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, they got 2 goals in the last minute, if you remember. It was a crushing defeat. What did City go on and do? They went and won the next league game, and they went on and won the league. That's the mentality of this team and this manager. Listen, there's a few things I've got to say. We're trying to get on here for a while. But with City now, Pep Guardiola, another thing that he's brilliant at, he's very good in the press conferences. That's an important part of management now when you come up against journalists. He leaves them leaving that room asking more questions than answers. He's the best one I've seen since Alex Ferguson at controlling a room with journalists. He's brilliant at it. You know, that's an important part of management, that. I looked at Ten Hag yesterday and he walked out on his. The writing's on the wall for that guy.
We're going to get to Ten Hag. Is that a good point that David makes, Martin? About press conferences, how you deal with journalists?
Pep Guardiola deals with the journalists in that manner, which obviously he's delighted with, because he keeps winning.
Yeah.
It's easier to deal with the press conferences when you're winning.
When you win. That's a fair point, David, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but with City as well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of rival fans now. They're saying about it's getting boring, City dominating the league and all that. Well, didn't Liverpool dominate it in the 80s and Man United in the 90s? We've just been lucky to carry on this sort of mini dominance that we're having. You know, it's not as longevity as what Liverpool or United are. If we carry on doing it, then of course. But and obviously the 115 will get labelled at us. But listen, when we get on to that point, there's a few things I want to say on that, and that is City started their revival many years before that takeover. Then there's no denying it. The money's helped us win these league titles. But of course it has. But people like Francis Lee signed off the new stadium. He put things in place. He brought us on commercially as a football club. We were sinking faster than the Titanic on the pitch. We had 6 managers in one season. But the King Clancy money, when we sold him at the time, kept the Wolves at the door. Joe Royle had to cut the squad down from 60 to 30 players. And he got us up 2 leagues back to back. We've got Dennis Stewart on board. They put a lot of things in place, City, to make us an attractive proposition at the end of the day. And we're just like a new brand. Of course, we've not got as many fans as United or Liverpool. But I'll tell you what, he's coming. There's brands around now that weren't around when I was a kid. It's always been Nike and Adidas. You either wear a pair of Adidas or a pair of Nikes. There's new brands on the market now. Things like Under Armour.
David, I like your call. Simon, you're nodding.
Well, he's absolutely right. I mean, the next generation of football fans will be brought up neutrals on Manchester City's success. So whilst I make this analogy about United and Liverpool being Ferrari and City being Red Bull by brand association, in a generation's time that will change if Manchester City keep on winning. If they keep on winning and keep on moving forward as they are now, and with the ownership model, when Pep Guardiola leaves, we'll see if the cycle continues. But David's right. He is right in that respect. That ultimately, the brands that people associated with once upon a time are different to what they now associate with. And if City keep winning, then they will become one of the elite football clubs in terms of legacy positions.
David, just in a sentence, are you on the brink of another treble then? Do you see it?
No, I think it'll be very difficult. I'm an honest fan like that. I think Arsenal will eventually win the league. I think they're a bloody good team, Arsenal. They're the only next team to City at keeping the ball. What a surprise. We've got a coach there who worked with Pep Guardiola. We've got a great manager here. People need to hold on and just accept it for what it is. He's had a lot of money to spend. I get that.
Yeah.
But all the top managers has. Would have Ferguson done the same job if he was at Sheffield United with a low budget? Maybe he would have. I don't know. He did a great job at Aberdeen. It pains me to take my hat off to him, but he was a great manager. But Mourinho, Wenger, they all manage top clubs. Pep Guardiola is a top coach. He's an elite coach. They've created an environment there at the CFA that is pretty remarkable, guys, when you see it. He's a very clever manager. Give him all the day off this week, Pep. He manages his squad very well. Arsenal will win the league eventually if they carry on the way they are.
David, many good points, mate.
He's a great manager.
Thank you for that. Thanks for your call.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.